Peterborough, you talk about positive things. Peterborough just celebrated the grand reopening of the library on Elmer Street. I want to take you back several years ago. There was a certain councillor who thought that libraries were a thing of the past and questioned whether we should invest some money, and that councillor was yourself. What do you feel about libraries today? Have you changed your mind on that?
See, it's Valentine's Day. All the love letters I got for the comments I made, maybe I should open a few of those. Actually, I can say that the new library is spectacular. I was in it the other day for a retirement party downstairs, and they've done a terrific job. I mean, you know, you had lots to work with because you tore it apart. You had 4 walls and a roof left, and you had to build it up fairly nicely, which they did. It was spectacular. So you know, again, I've got a comment on that and make sure that we understand that we do have quite a resource in our city, and it's infrastructure here that every city's got to have. I mean, obviously the comments I made should have said that the way libraries are perceived now is a little bit different than they were years ago. I mean, I look at what's going on. I was there. I walked through it. I visited. I mean, I hear all the negative things that are going on now with alcohol that's in there now and needles and all this kind of stuff. And
they found some stuff in the washrooms.
All this kind of stuff. And I know that the library folks had come earlier because they had security guards down at the bottom or the basement of Peterborough Square, and now they wanted it there at the new place. And I'm thinking, I'm living in Peterborough. I mean, to me, a library isn't a place that I have to have a police service sitting at the front door when you walk in. Next thing they're going to frisk you and what's in your bag and all that kind of stuff. I mean, when I was there the other day, I mean, it's beautiful. It's open, it's bright. I mean, but when I walk in, I go down to the one side and there's a bunch of people sleeping on the couches on one side. I mean, are they using the library for the service that I think a library should be used for? So maybe, you know, again, sitting on the police service board where I sit, maybe I've got to, you know, we have a discussion with the police to maybe do a little bit more investigation, maybe a little more public image in and around that area to make sure that this is perceived as a family library where people come and use it and utilize the facility. And we're fortunate to have it, and we're fortunate to have such a beautiful library in the center of the city.
Oh, it's gorgeous, just gorgeous in there.
And that's a difficult one, though. You know, that's something that the city has been talking about for probably as long as I've been here, and probably for all time. That just idea that, you know, there are homeless people or people who are, you know, have mental disabilities or whatever on the streets, bank, you know, cash machine areas. I hadn't, until this came up, I hadn't thought about the library, but yeah, you know, you don't want someone to walk in a library and see people sleeping on the couches, but it's very difficult to say, this is the public space, you can't be here. There are other places for people to go now. There's the warming room, it's open daily, but I think that's just one of those unfortunate conundrums that you can't, in the end, do an awful lot about. You know, it's been pretty much established that you can't, no matter how much you'd like not to see that guy who's got dirty clothes on sleeping on the library couch, it's very difficult to move that person out and say you can't come back.
Unfortunately, you say, you know, there's shelters like the warming room, but these are places that are at capacity, especially during the coldest times of the year. And these are people who are trying to find a place to get warm, and you know,
and it's
slightly
it's
warm
a very
today,
comfortable, and it's an attractive place. You know, it's if you had to go and hang out somewhere, it's one of the nicest spots downtown. Not a big surprise that people want to hang out there.